Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Tawfik Anounkou, licensed realtor here in the DMV area. And today I have
Aminat Alimi, licensed in Maryland and Virginia.
Today we have a pretty good podcast to go over. Today we have a really important topic we want to go over, educating you guys as buyers and sellers on what you're expecting in today's market, just giving us in and out, from professionals.
Yeah, Tawfik, what are some tips that you can give buyers based on today's market?
Good question. Today's market, we are officially in the spring market as April 30th, 2024. Very competitive market, I would say. So if you're a buyer looking to purchase a home, I would say definitely work closely with your realtor and your lender, right? You want to make sure that you have your finances in place, right? Because when you find that property out there, since it's a spring market and a lot of buyers are out there competing, you want to be ready to submit a very competitive offer, have a true understanding what your mortgage payment is going to be, see whether if you're able to compete for that property or not, So I think just staying prepared, having your finances in deck, right? And also, just having that clear communication with your lender and realtor will take you a long way. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think Tawfik said it perfectly because right now competition is steep and it's actually a seller's market, which means sellers are able to, they have more control. Right. So like he said, with having your finances, it's going to give you the financial power to move forward quickly, which is favored by sellers.
That's right. And when it comes to winning offers, any tips that you give to buyers on how to get the offer accepted?
Yes. So right now, seeing that the market is very steep with competition, even though the price the home is listed at, I would always recommend to go a little bit above because you have people who are currently now paying well above $20K off of above asking price just to make sure that their offer gets accepted. Right. Anything that you've seen recently that you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, most sellers always look for who's going to offer them the most amount of money, right? So that's the main thing. Another thing we're working a lot with sellers too, they're looking for a clean offer, right? Something that gives them less headache, not to worry about, something that will allow them to make that transition, right? When they have 4 or 5 offer, what really makes you stand out is the offer that gives you the less, that gives the seller the most amount of opportunity for them to be able to make a transition without having nothing to worry about. And that comes down to the home inspection, right?
I was thinking that.
Yeah, as a buyer's agent, I'm a big advocate on getting your home inspected, right? But there's different ways of getting your home inspected. You can still buy a property as is and work with your realtor and still get an inspection done so you have an insight of exactly what you're purchasing, right? Still a big advocate on the home inspection. Do not waive it, but make sure, be ready to still buy the property as is, just get a home inspection done for just your information purpose only.
And that is a great point that you made because a lot of sellers right now are looking for a 24-hour to 3-day turnaround. Yep. Like people are putting a home on the market on Monday and they're closing or they're making a final decision by Sunday.
Right.
And now you see people giving up their inspection, appraisal. A lot of people are foregoing those things, but like you said, still get it done so that you can know the ins and out of your home and be able to attack whatever problems you find at the beginning rather than be surprised 100%, down the line.
100%.
And I was actually going to ask you, what are some tips that you would give based on today's market in regards to real estate investing?
I work with real estate investors as well. When it comes to investing in real estate right now, due to the interest rate, you want to be prepared to put a huge amount of money down, right? So I would say 20% down as an investor. If you're able to do that, that reduces your loan amount, right? And if even today's rate, you're still able to have a mortgage payment where you can still cash flow monthly, right? Yep. Another tip is that location is everything when it comes to investing into real estate. So buy in location that are rental friendly and have good return on when it comes to rentals, right? Yes. So that way you can know that you have positive cash flow, you have a good chance of getting a good candidate for a potential tenant to take over for the next 12 to 24 months, right? And also having money saved, right? Because it's an investment property. Even though there's a tenant in that property, they're not going to take up the property like you would at your own house.
Exactly.
Right. So my big advice is that once you get that monthly cash flow, set it aside in case something was to happen and you get a call, tenant needs any repair, you're able to go out there, get the property fixed up, and keep the tenant happy so you can continue receiving that monthly income.
Yeah, and that's actually a really great tip because once your tenant moves out, you need to renovate, you need to paint, you need to get it ready for the next person. In addition to that as well, you some of the tips in regard to making sure that it is Renter friendly is making sure that there are bus or metro transportation readily available for people that are commuters. These are just tips to look out for when you're trying to invest, and make sure that you can have high turnaround rates with your renters. Is making sure that it's going to be a commuter friendly location.
Right. For a first-time home buyer looking to buy a house, what do they need in order to purchase? What are you advising your client for first-time home buyers that they need to be able to purchase a home to this market?
One thing I always tell my buyers when it comes to first-time home buyers is to remember that it's your starter home. It doesn't have to be your forever home. No. And so once you find a home with a great deal, go for it. Make sure that you have what we like to call your stack of deck ready. Your earnest money your deposit, your down payment, your earnest money deposit, your closing costs, and any miscellaneous costs that can be added on or tacked on to your purchase. Right. So in addition to what I just said, what are some things that you've recommended for your buyers?
Yeah. So you have the two main expenses, like you mentioned, right? The down payment and the closing costs, and this all depends on the price that you're purchasing your property for and the type of financing that you use. I'm a big advocate on letting them know to have extra money saved, right? Because you don't want to move into the property and not be able to afford, to pay even the first monthly payment or buy furniture, which is important. You need furniture to live in your property. So just having extra money saved, right? And if you had to leverage first-time home buyers program, if you do qualify for it, I think it's a good resource as a first-time home buyer to take advantage of that. But just having that extra money saved, that just for emergencies.
That's actually with him talking about the first-time home buyer. You actually reminded me to also encourage first-time home buyers to go out there and get educated on different loan programs in the market, different grants, different assistance, and different real estate services, so that you can really optimize your choices and your decision, so that it works best for you, not just for now, but down the line. Like we said, we talked about location, we talked about commuter friendly, we talked about all these different aspects that, when taken into consideration, can actually be favorable for you. You might look at it as your starter home, but you may down the line find out it's one of the great or best investment opportunity you ever had, based on how you set yourself up for your first purchase.
Right. Yeah, that first home can allow you to, set yourself up for the future, right? You buy that one property, you're able to leverage it to get the second one, and so forth. So that first house is really like a stepping stone to be able to acquire more real estate, and that's what we hear, right? I started using the slogans like, I'm here to advise you, to make money through real estate. Like your financial advisor through real estate. And that's what we're here for, and that's why we're professional here, to be able to educate you guys as buyers and sellers on how you guys can leverage real estate to make passive income, create generational wealth for your family, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, because it's real estate is not just about a home. It's about financial freedom. It's a foundation. A home, when you think about it, is a foundation, not just for family, but for starting your financial future.
That's right.
So that's a good way to kind of look at real estate investing, is looking at it as a foundation for different aspects and areas of your life.
Right. We are today in the spring market, and one of my favorite seasons of the real estate. Some of the reasons why I love the spring market is that this is when you start to see more inventory on the market, right? Spring and summer market is when sellers are deciding they need to sell, right? They start putting their property on the market. You have more inventory, so all the buyers that's been sitting on the market since the year started in January are now more to find their home, their dream home, right? Another family's moving out, so it's time to pass it on to another family. So very excited for the spring market. If you're a seller looking to sell your house, I would say now it's a good time for you to sell. We're still dealing with low inventory, so there's tons of buyers out there looking to sell your home. And then if you wanted to sell your property for top dollars, here are some of the advice that I would give you. Number one, curb appeal is everything, right? So definitely invest into your landscaping. Have a contractor go there and take care of the landscaping. Number two, declutter as much as you can, right? I always advise my seller to leave the house at a neutral color, right? So another buyer, another family can come there and envision their furniture, their paint colors into their property, right? And my third advice is availability. I know you're selling your property and it sucks. Unfortunately, you want to make the house as available as possible, because you want to have as many buyers as you can for that weekend, so they can see the property. As your agent, I'm trying to create exposure to your house. So the more people see the property, the higher you're going to receive when it comes to offers.
Yeah,
right? So
and that's exactly another reason why springtime is a great time to put your house in the market. There's so much more daylight.
Yeah.
So now, like in winter time, when we're at, like, it's getting dark by 6 p.m. Now you have some more sunshine up until about 8 p.m.
Right.
So people that are working and get up at 5 now have an additional 3 hours where they can go out looking for homes. In addition to everything Tawfik mentioned, when thinking about selling your home, think about the 5 senses, not just sight, scent, and touch, but also sense as well. So making sure that your home is very refreshed and appealing, so when people walk in, it can feel like they're at home. So that's another thing, just making sure the home is fragranced in a neutral, or like either no scent or a very neutral scent to kind of make the home feel more welcoming and inviting.
Yeah, sure, for sure. And while you're in the property, you want to sell your house for top dollars. It's important to do as much renovation as you can. Not all renovation, but there's some renovation that increase your home value, right? And the first, when it comes to improving things to improve value. When it comes to selling your property, there are a few things that I would highly advise that you do to the house while you stay there to improve the value of your home. The first thing is a kitchen renovation. If you're able to renovate your kitchen, that will significantly increase the value of your home. Number 2 is the bathroom. The bathroom is really important, especially the primary suite. A lot of buyers, as soon as they come into the property, that's one of the main things they look for is the primary owner suite, right? How lovely the bathroom looks. And also the hardwood floors, right? If you're able to change your carpet to hardwood floor, that also increases the value. So is there anything in the property where you think?
I think you touched on some very critical aspect, because when you think about the heart of a home, it's the kitchen. So if you're going to invest money in renovating, it's going to be the kitchen. Typically, 100%. As long as the kitchen looks very inviting, a lot of people will go in because they know they can fix everything else.
That's right.
The primary bathroom, that's where a lot of people are going to be spending their time getting ready, getting refreshed. You want to feel, you want to feel welcomed. You want to feel comfortable while you're getting ready for work, or when you come back from a long day of work and you need to distress. You want those primary areas that you yourself would, envision as your favorite parts of the home. Think about that when you're doing your renovation, because then somebody else has to then take on the home, and it would be nice to just kind of have those updated features so that it can be more appealing.
I know that you do a lot of new construction deals, right? You're the queen of new construction. What would you say the pros and cons of buying new constructions?
One of the reasons that I love new constructions, and I encourage a lot of my buyers to go for them, is the fact that you're already getting everything renovated and brand new, which is why, again, we stress so much on renovation when it comes to trying to sell your home. And that's why new construction has that appeal. It's brand new. People like things that are brand new, no hassle. They don't have to come in and replace anything. In addition to the fact that it comes with various forms of warranty for the structure, for the appliance, electrical, plumbing, a lot of those things are covered. So for a lot of my first-time home buyers who don't have the financial expenditure to go out and put in an extra $3K because something happened 2 months down into them moving into their home, new construction is perfect for that, because you're getting everything brand new. It's going to be little to no cost when it comes to upkeeping and maintaining the home in the first 2 to 3 years. There are going to be very little issues you have, and if you do encounter issues, that's why your warranty is there to kind of step in and help you address those issues, so that you don't have to take on so much of a financial burden.
Now, I agree. New construction is brand new. You're the first one living on the property. You get several inspections done before the house is built, right? The pre-drywall inspection, the final walkthrough inspection. Even though it's a new construction, I'm a very advocate of still getting the home inspection done, because you just never know what you can possibly find. So, you get all these inspections done, you have all these warranties, you have all these incentives, right, to be able to get into properties. We can help you get into new construction with as little as money down, So, it's really important for you to hire a real estate agent to even represent you when you're buying a new construction, right? We're there as your advocate to kind of educate you about the buying process of a new construction, help you vet out home inspectors, so you can have the professional in the property inspecting your property, and also help you negotiate, right? And there's been times where we sat with a new builder and we were able to negotiate for a client and got them an additional 10, 15,000 on top of the incentive that was already being offered.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, and a lot of people fail to understand that the sales rep represent the builder. Like they're there to think of it like when you work for a company, you want to make your company the most money. And so even if you do have money, you don't want to give it away freely unless when a professional steps in and we understand how that works and we understand what is allotted. And we've seen, because we've gone through so much experience with having to see when people tell us no to something and they're able to come back to say yes. We've seen those things. So we have those knowledge and experience, and to be able to basically navigate we were able to better navigate when it comes to bargaining for either getting you some free options added to your home or just additional discounts off from the final sale price. These are all things why real estate professionals, it's not like these are the things that these are the benefits that would come with, and especially when it comes to new construction, sometimes you don't even have to pay an additional fee because the buyers or the sellers or the builders already have an incentive where they're already covering
your buyer's rep. Yeah, so it's not like it's costing you additional money to hire a licensed professional to help you go through on your biggest transaction ever. It's a new construction property. This is an asset at the end of the day. You want to make sure you buy it right, so when you're ready to sell, you still have a good resale value, right? You're not stuck within that property, and that's something I'm starting to notice. A lot of agents don't talk about this. Is that if you buy a new construction property, you really have to think about it. It's in order for you to see the true value and reap the benefit, you must live in a property for X amount of years, right? Because some property, depending on the state that you buy the property, the builder's still building in that community, and they're also increasing the sales price. You might have an equity in that property, and you're ready to sell, but the challenges that you go through selling, because people are now looking at your property. Should I pay extra $10,000 for your house or go for a brand new home? So I think just having a game plan, right? Knowing exactly how long you're going to stay in the property, how you're going to use your equity, and how you're actually going to leverage this property to make you more money or just make it convenient for you and your family.
Yeah, and that's another additional benefit to new construction, is that when you're buying it new, there's that appreciation and equity that comes along with it. And the fact that if you decide to sell your home within 5 years and you just bought a new construction, it's still going to be very appealing to someone looking to buy a resale home, as opposed to pre-existing homes that have been built, like let's say in the 90s or the early 2000s. You purchasing a new construction now, when you sell it to the next person, they're still going to view it as new-ish, and that's going to be a huge appeal when it comes to someone trying to buy.
No, I agree. Because at the end of the day, you buying this property, it's a big investment. You have HVAC, roof, all these stuff that are wear and tear. Anything can happen any day. The most investment to protect yourself, to make sure they're in good, operable condition, and they're fairly new, so you don't take on that responsibility. Just as important as buying a resale home, I feel like if you're in the position, you have the finance and the means, you're able to afford a new construction, why not? We're here to help you. So we'd love to assist you with that.
Yes, and that's exactly why we're here. Crazy enough, you mentioned it earlier with the equity. One of my clients that are under construction, the appraisal just came back, and they actually got the home for $10K under the value. So they're already walking in with $10K
before
equity
before closing.
Wow. So by the time they leave a year or two in that, appreciation is going to keep growing. So those are just things to consider, and for you to also think about when it comes to purchasing a home. But yeah, that's why we're here. If you ever need real estate professionals, Tawfik Anounkou is here to represent you.
That's right.
And so am I.
All right. You can find me on Instagram, Tawfik the Realtor, on YouTube, Maryland Best Realtor, and on TikTok, Tawfik the Realtor.
And you can find me on Instagram at Aminat the Realtor, and on TikTok at Aminat the Realtor, and my YouTube channel is still in the works. So when I do have that completely ready, I will come back and give you guys my tag.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your time.